There is a change happening in Star Wars that is very interesting when you look at the Ahsoka series, and I think it hints at something even deeper. Welcome to Star Wars Uplink. Ahsoka is tying everything that Dave Filoni has learned throughout his years at Lucasfilm and his experience working very closely with George Lucas into the Ahsoka series. But even more than that, he is tying into a lot of Legends content that we didn't really think that we would ever be seeing again. When you look at the rumor titled for his eventual Star Wars movie, Heir to the Empire, you can see the direct inspiration from the older canon novels. And these novels are important because this was the original sequel trilogy before the sequel trilogy. The things in these three books were what would ultimately come to inspire the time period that we're in. While we're already far off from what these books depicted, the original sequel trilogy and the Heir to the Empire trilogy was around Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, Leia Organa, and Thrawn, taking these aspects of the fallen shreds of the Empire and the rise of something like the New Republic. How is something like the New Republic supposed to rise out of the ashes of the Empire, and what are the efforts that the Empire is going to put out there to find its strength again? And Thrawn was a huge part of that. This was the introduction to Thrawn as a character were these original books. These books were in fact the foundation of what we've come to know as Legends. These were the first books that really sparked what we see as Legends content. And it is the foundation of what everything came after started from these books. And when you look at Thrawn in those books was a powerhouse of a character. Timothy Zahn truly understands the character and made someone really unique when you look at Thrawn in the Star Wars galaxy. A villain not necessarily motivated by greed or corruption, but motivated by his intellect and his skills with battle, and his ultimate want to help protect his people and give them the best reality that they can in this budding new empire and position. And aligning himself with the Empire was the way to achieve that. But are we seeing enough of Thrawn in the Ahsoka series? Are we really getting the true Thrawn experience in Ahsoka? That's a question I've been seeing a lot of, like, are they wasting the character? Are they spending too much time setting up the universe before getting to Thrawn? And this is a double-sided question here. I think there are benefits and downsides to this thinking. And I think if you're looking at Ahsoka as just a standalone thing, we're not seeing enough of Thrawn. But if you're looking at Ahsoka as this larger beginning, the foundation of the next version of the Mandoverse, I think we're getting just enough Thrawn. Are we going to see enough of him as frequently as we would have liked? I think that depends on what direction Skeleton Crew is going to bring and what direction maybe a season 2 of Ahsoka would be. And that's where I want to really kick this discussion off is, are we seeing enough of Thrawn and what is his purpose in the Star Wars galaxy? While we may not be seeing as much Thrawn as we would have liked in Ahsoka, originally I expected him not to show up until the very last episode, so I'm getting more Thrawn than I originally expected to. But that still leads the question of what is actually going to happen with Ahsoka. Obviously, this is before the episode really comes out, and the finale thrills us all with whatever cliffhanger ends up happening, because I do not believe we will get to the end of the Ahsoka series and not have a cliffhanger. Something is going to happen that is going to change the Star Wars universe entirely. It's going to affect how we perceive this era and really lay the foundation for what's going to happen next. So, Thrawn in this new galaxy. Thrawn in the Heir to the Empire was, at least in the first book, was definitely more of a subtle character. He was a lot more planning in the background, moving the pieces, and I feel like he's going to have a bigger role in this era than he might have even had in Legends. And that's saying something. I feel like they're going to set up Thrawn as the next Thanos almost, but I would say even more subtle than Thanos. Well, I think Thanos was there underneath everything, I think Thrawn is going to be a little bit more front and center. He is playing 4D chess with all of these different Star Wars pieces. And if there is anything that we've learned about Thrawn is he likes to stay ahead of the game. Even in the last episode of Thrawn, he says, no matter what decision Ahsoka chooses, we will be multiple steps ahead of her. And that sums up Thrawn as a character. This is what we believe as Thrawn. This is what we know of as Thrawn, is he's going to set in motion what he believes the effect is going to be no matter the outcome. He has ran the calculation. He has looked at every single possibility and has made adjustments for each of those. While I don't think we're getting enough Thrawn in Ahsoka, I do think that we will ultimately get enough of him throughout this whole Mandoverse area. But a character we will not get enough time with is obviously Baylan Skoll. Ray Stevenson died and really left a massive gap in the Star Wars galaxy, just showing his chops as an actor and showing the dedication that he has to bringing someone really unique into the Star Wars galaxy. Luthen Rael being the only other that I would say is on the same level of nuance in the Star Wars galaxy. Someone who we can see their motivations, but we don't necessarily know their end goal or how they're going to get there, especially when it comes to Baylan. Baylan obviously looking for something even bigger in the Star Wars galaxy, something in this new galaxy and on this new planet that is going to change what we perceive as the Force. I think whatever he's looking for is going to be way bigger than we originally thought would be possible in Star Wars. There's a lot of theories when it comes to maybe the introduction of an Abeloth or Abeloth type character who is this very chaotic force in the galaxy. Someone who had to be imprisoned on a specific planet and took all of the efforts of both the father, the son, and the daughter to lock up. So when you look at something like that, I think that is of the level that we're going to see in the Star Wars galaxy once Baylan finds whatever he's looking for. And whatever he's looking for is going to impact both Ahsoka and Thrawn. No matter what it is, it's going to affect both Thrawn's efforts to get off of the planet with whatever cargo he has, and Ahsoka's efforts in stopping his return to the Star Wars galaxy that we know of. So I think it's going to be a big difference when we hit that moment, that last finale episode. A lot of things are going to be moving really quickly, and I would not be surprised if the whole crew ends up getting stuck on Peridea. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Are we seeing enough of Thrawn in Ahsoka? Are we seeing enough of Baylan? Do you think that we're going to see more of both of them or just Thrawn? Let me know in the comments, and I'm really interested to see what you all think when we look at Thrawn and what his efforts are in the Star Wars galaxy, because I think there's something much bigger than we all expect. And whatever is going to happen in that finale is going to change the Star Wars universe entirely. As always, check out our podcast, and may the Force be with you.